My name is Dr. Janese, and I'm an Associate Professor of Sociology, Criminal Justice, and Criminology in the Department of Sociology at Emmanuel College. And I'll be speaking today on behalf of myself and my colleague and co-author, Dr. Križ, who is a Professor of Sociology in the Department of Sociology at Emmanuel College. We're currently working on a larger research project entitled Working College Study. And today we're going to share with you a bit about what we can learn as faculty and administrators from a research project on how working students juggle work and full-time studies. The motivation for this project comes from the reality that in 2017 we knew that approximately 40% of full-time college students in the United States were employed. About 25% of the full-time college students who are in this age group worked 20 hours or more a week, with almost 20% of those students working between 20 and 34 hours a week. We have a continued need for college students to work as a result of the economic recession, the cost of college, as well as the current pandemic. And we know that this primarily hits low-income families and families of color. This point in time is an opportunity for colleges to press the reset button with the global pandemic and to take a look at what they offer for working college students. The purpose of this presentation is to describe some preliminary findings of one analysis and to offer some takeaways for both faculty and administrators that are low cost or actually no cost ways to support working college students. The research question for this particular portion of the study is how do full-time college students who work more than 20 hours per week during the academic year juggle work and studies? We used in-depth semi-structured interviews of 55 working college students at both 2- and 4-year public and private colleges and universities in a large metropolitan area in northeastern United States. We conducted the interviews between March and July of 2020. The sample is diverse in terms of race, ethnicity, social class, and college type. Our findings demonstrated that many of the study participants found juggling academics and work challenging. The participants used several approaches or strategies to balance their work and their studies. These included strictly managing and carefully planning their time, benefiting from lighter academics, deprioritizing or disregarding their schoolwork, completing schoolwork on the job, and leveraging the flexibility of their job to provide more opportunities to focus on their academics while at the job, and neglecting their own well-being. This might be not sleeping as much, not exercising, not hanging out with friends, or having opportunities to spend time in any leisurely way. One interviewee said that, quote, "The way I do it would be to really make sure that I plan ahead, using the weekends effectively and trying to maximize every minute that I could." In terms of benefiting from lighter academics and deprioritizing or disregarding their schoolwork, another participant stated that, quote, "A lot of the times I found myself just either not doing homework, not doing the readings, or just like rushing at the last minute to get it done." In terms of completing schoolwork on the job or having the flexibility to work on their schoolwork during their job hours, a participant said, quote, "I was grateful to have jobs that were very flexible. Even though they required a lot of work, I could kind of choose when I was going to do that work." And then finally, in terms of neglecting their own well-being, we had numerous participants speak about lack of sleep, and one participant in particular said, quote, "Sleep is not a constant." In terms of the recommendations that we have for faculty members based on what the participants shared with us, we would suggest that faculty try to provide more flexibility with their assessments. So having deadlines, offering extensions at times, and then having even safety net deadlines. We would suggest that faculty try to offer virtual office hours, either on the phone or on Zoom, and at appointment times that are outside of the typical office hours, as most students who work tend to work during the typical 9 to 5 hours. This is not true of all, but many do. This also would be true for trying to make it possible for students to front load their schoolwork. So by posting a syllabi, posting the assignments online, students then can take advantage of getting more work done when they have more time available. Teaching some courses online also would assist in reducing commute time for working college students, as well as provide some flexibility for them. Avoid giving busy work. Build into the course time, time to work on group projects, as we found that working college students often weren't available when other non-working college students were available to meet for their group meetings or to meet to practice for their presentation or to write the paper, and then were seen as not participating as fully in the project. Polling your students at the beginning of a semester or beginning of class to ask what sort of challenges they face, including hours they work, employment that they hold, whether they work night shifts, weekends, anything that a faculty member should be aware of. Asking students for their input on assignment deadlines or workload to try to figure out how to best manage those, especially for working college students. And then building self-care practices or even modeling self-care practices into our courses. In terms of administration and what recommendations we would make based on our findings, we would suggest that administrators try to create policies that are based on institutional data and also national trends about this student population in particular, employed students. We would suggest that they then share that data on the working college students on their own campus, as well as national trends with faculty and staff and other administrators to try to make them more aware of the challenges that these students face. We'd suggest increasing opportunities for students to participate in college governance, offer classes and office hours at non-traditional times for students who may work during the traditional times when those are offered. Provide more on-campus jobs to allow students possibly to study while they're on the job or reduce commuting time. Liaise with employers in the area who might better understand the needs of working college students, hire students as undergraduate researchers, office assistants, instructional assistants, and pay a fair wage. Offer workshops to try to encourage and teach time management, as we found that was extremely important for working college students. Self-care, self-advocacy. Encourage student-oriented campus offices to be open at some non-traditional times. So since many working college students work during these typical Monday through Friday 9 to 5 hours, it would be helpful to have the bookstore or financial aid office, registrar's office, counseling centers that were available to working students at other non-traditional times so that they could access those resources more readily. Develop course grids with larger chunks of time so that students could work off campus in chunks of time. Provide study spaces for working college students and make mental health resources both free and accessible to all students. We would like to thank our study participants for taking the time to talk with us. We'd like to thank our own working students at Emmanuel College who meet the demands of school and jobs. And we also owe great thanks to our undergraduate research assistants. And we also owe thanks to the Emmanuel College Faculty Development Fund as well.